Today I am going to be making liquid soap, coconut oil soap, and this soap is going to be for cleaning with. Coconut oil soap makes a really thin soap, so you can dilute it down more, and it's real sudsy, so it's a great cleanser. So for like the bathrooms or the sink or something like that. So, and even as a spot treatment on clothes. So that's what I'm going to be making today. I went online to Soap Calc. No, actually I went to Summer Bee Meadow, I think is what it's called. And on there you can calculate liquid soaps, which is totally different than a bar of soap. So I went on there and I just came up with a recipe. I decided to do 32 ounces of coconut oil. And so I've already got that measured out in my pot, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. And then the recipe said, and if you put in how much you want to make, how much oil. Now if you're doing a bunch of oils, it gets a little bit more complicated. But I was just doing coconut oil, no super fats, because this is a cleaner. I wasn't adding anything extra, alcohol, glycerin, or anything. So what I did is I just went in there and I put 32 ounces. I just came up with that, said I'll just do 32 ounces of coconut oil. You can do whatever you want. Try 16 ounces. It's up to you. But I put in 32 ounces and it tells you how much lye you need and how much water you need. Now, of course, this is a different lye. This one is potassium hydroxide, which is for liquid soaps, and this is not for a bar of soap. And I did get this from Essential Depot. I am picking up my order Wednesday from the company that I'm going to be ordering my lyes from now on, where I'm going to be able to get them cheaper. So if you're interested in getting some, let me know, whether it's for the liquid soap or the bar soap. Now I am going to be getting more for the bar soap than I am liquid, because I don't make as much liquid soap as I do the bar soap, because I don't sell my liquid soaps. I've had people ask, but I haven't ventured out to do that yet. But I'm hoping to broaden my horizons a little in the future, the near future. So hopefully maybe that will be something that I will consider. But anyway, you will use potassium hydroxide. So first thing I'm going to do is turn my scale on. And I've already measured out the 2 pounds of coconut oil, and it's in the crock pot, and I have it on. And alright, got this on, put my bowl on. I'm going to tear it out so it goes to 0. It says I need 8.6 ounces of lye. So I'm just going to put this in. Okay, I'm at 7, I'm at 8, I need 8.6. Oop, there we go, perfect, 8.6. Now, in one of my other videos, I did pour it straight into the water. That's not something I recommend, because if you're not really careful, you may put too much, and once you put too much, you would have to go back and recalculate your recipe to add more oils, which can be a little tedious. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. But normally I put it in a bowl and then I transfer it into the water. Now you never want to pour water into lye. You always want to pour your lye into your water. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So put this here, and I recommend that you wear gloves. And I know I don't have on gloves, and that's just a personal preference. I could really get burnt really badly, so I don't recommend that you not wear gloves. So Anna, go ahead and eat, baby. I recommend that you do wear gloves, please. Because you can get burnt. It is caustic. It will burn you. It's not something you really want to play around with. And I know I'm going to have people say that I don't have on gloves, and that's a personal preference. I don't recommend it. Please wear gloves. Please be safe. Do some research online about safety when dealing with lye. A lot of people wear long sleeves, gloves, long pants. They wear goggles. Like I said, that is a personal preference. Please don't take any risk. I'm going to pour this in. And if you notice, these are flakes. And I always use this to get out the extra that you can see in there. Okay. Now immediately you want to rinse this. So what I do is just give it a quick rinse. And there you have it. Okay. And I keep old dish towels and things in here, so if you have dish towels that get spots on them, or you see this one's kind of looking a little dingy there, it's okay because it's just for the soap room. I wash them, they go right back in there, and I don't use them for anything else. So don't throw out your old towels. Use them for your soaping. Okay. Immediately you can already see that this one has a different look. It's turning a yellow. And if you listen, you can hear it do the fizz. It does like a sizzle. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get this nice and blended up. Nice and blended. Now you can also use this for laundry detergent. This type of soap. Coconut oil is great for laundry detergent. It's great for cleaning, spot cleaning, cleaning the sinks, bathrooms. I don't think I'd use it on the floor because it can be a little sudsy. Unless you can water it down enough that it'll do a mild cleaner. And okay, all that is dissolved. So now I'm going to walk this over here just so I don't have to drip that. Get that blended and put there. Okay, it's really, really hot. I'm going to set it there. Move this out of the way. Go ahead and put my lye up. And we're going to give this a few minutes to cool. We're going to let this cool down some. I don't measure the temperatures, but I am going to let this cool down some, and I'm going to let this melt some. And I'm going to sit this way over here so that no one accidentally knocks it over. And then I'm going to bring you back in a few minutes when this heats up. I should have went ahead and heated it up. I do have it on high right now. I don't cook it on high, but I'm going to turn it on high just to get the pot heated up really nicely and get the oil starting to melt, and then I'll turn it back down on low. And like I said, this will give this a chance to cool down. I'll tell you what the temperature is of this. Okay, it says it's 145 degrees. So it's really, really hot. And we do want it to cool down past the boiling point. So we're going to cool that down some, heat these oils up some, and then I'm going to bring you back to mix those together. Okay, I'm back. The lye water is nice and warm, and temperatures don't matter, but I'm just kind of so you won't have to guess. Now it's down to like 100 degrees. I had turned the coconut oil off because it had already melted. So I'm going to go ahead with that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently just make sure there's nothing in here that's not melted. It's all melted. And I'm going to gently pour it in. And I'm going to immediately rinse it out. I don't don't wash that because I don't want any soap residue to get in it. That's all I use it for. So I rinse it, let it dry, and then I put it away. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my crock pot back on low because I had turned it off. And I'm going to give this a quick stir, and then I'm going to start stick blending it. You can immediately see that it's starting to emulsify because it starts changing the color. It goes from a oily yellow looking to a creamy white. Now this takes a little longer than the normal soap, the bar soaps I should say. And I will tell you that I let the stuff sit for about an hour, and that was only because I needed to go do a couple things. But normally you don't have to let it cool down that long. Just cool enough that it's not quite so hot, and then you can begin. But I let it cool down for about an hour, but like I said, that's not necessary. Thank you.
Mom's calling you.
Okay, I'm back. Let it sit for a few minutes, and you can already see that it was starting to thicken up as it sat. Not thicken, but it was starting to emulsify even more. It is beginning to start the process of trace. It's not there, but I can tell it's changing. While I do this, because you're not going to be able to hear a lot of what I'm saying, but this is a kind of a, like I said, it takes a while, and you just got to be patient. I did turn the crock pot on hot to heat it back up, because the warmer it is, the quicker it'll go through trace. curiosity, I'm just going to check to see what the temperature is. It's 96. Which is strange because the oils were, the lye was 101 when I put it in. That's kind of strange. Usually it heats up, but maybe the oils weren't that hot. Probably need to pull it out a little bit from the wall, which I've already messed the wall up, so the paint's it's not really messed up, but it's got little spots from me splashing stuff, and I won't catch it and I won't wipe it, and so it kind of leaves it, but that's fine. It's just the laundry room that I call the laundry soaping room. Something to put that on. I'm going to put this on. I'm not going to continue to blend it. I'm going to let it sit for just a little bit. Because it will kind of push itself through the stages. You let it sit. If you sit there and work it, it'll go through it, but you don't want to burn your stick blender up. And it's getting a little hot. Not too bad though. If you're soaping, I suggest that you visit some yard sales, some thrift stores, try to find some items that you know you'll need for soaping rather than buy them brand new. This stick blender I think I purchased for $2 at a yard sale. It's not the best one. It works fine for what I need it to work for though, which is soap. So, and that way I didn't have to spend $20 or $30 on a stick blender that I may burn out doing soap. Hopefully not, but who knows. For a few minutes. I'm just going to bump. And I'm going to sit it just like that. And I'll put the lid on and I'm going to bring you back in about 5 minutes. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, so I'm going to come back and take a look at it. And if you notice now, it's really, not real thick, but kind of like a thinner type of pudding. But it is kind of gloppy. So I'm going to go ahead and blend this in. I am going to go ahead and, I went ahead and turn the crock pot back to low. It's more kind of like a heavy cream, probably. Make sure all of it's blending in nicely. continue to blend it. Getting a little hot. I'm going to bump it off. And set that there. I'm just going to quickly, I'm just taking a temp, 112. I don't know why. Normally I don't even take the temperature, but I'm kind of doing it for you so that you can kind of just get an idea of the temperature. All right, we're going to let it sit for about 5 more minutes and I'll bring you back. Okay, it's probably been actually more like 10 minutes, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at it again. Ooh, nice and thick. It's like a thick potato salad, thick mashed potatoes now. I'm just gonna give it a thick. It's gonna get a little thinner as I do this because it's mixing the part on the bottom with the part on the top. So I'll put the crock pot back on low. And the only reason I'm pushing it to high is I'm trying to get this to hurry. If you want to just leave it on low and just continue to work with it, that's fine until you kind of get a feel for it. Now I don't make a lot of liquid soap. I make liquid. I make laundry detergent liquid out of the lye, which I use the coconut oil for. I make the cleaner, which is basically the same thing, and I make shampoo, which I have a batch that is almost ready to pour up, to pour out of the crock pot. So I will probably do a quick video on how, just showing you that, and maybe I'll do a video at another time on making the shampoo. And the only thing about shampoos is that people's hair is different, so it's kind of like you have to find what works for you. And then you can take other people's recipes and then play with them. Just kind of do what your hair likes. And it's kind of an experimenting process because you may make, and this is getting really thick, almost like taffy. But I'm going to push through it. I'm going to use 2 hands now. You may find you have to experiment with shampoos because what works at 1 minute, what works for one person may not work for another. And you just kind of have to figure out. So it's kind of trial and error. And that has just stuck to there. So I'm going to get this. So now I'm at the point where you see it's kind of just going to fall off of there. It's all up in the bottom. I just usually try to clean it out the best I can to get it back in the pot. Give it a couple bumps. Now, don't tear up your stick blender knocking it. I always worry about that. I've never messed it up, but every time I'm bumping it, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna break it, I'm gonna tear it up. But they're pretty sturdy, or the ones I have found are. I actually have 2 more of these in the cabinet that I found at yard sales, and it's kind of like when I find one for $2 or $1, it's hard to pass it up when you know that you may tear up your stick blender at any time. Okay, I think I've pretty much got what I'm going to be able to get out of there. And it will wash right out. Of course, it's soap. So, now, I'll leave that there. Shouldn't need that anymore. But, I'll bring you right back. Okay, this is nice and stiff, as you can see. I'm not going to be able to stir it anymore or do anything else to it at this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it up a little bit. I just kind of chop through it, get it broke up. And now, normally you would just continue to let this cook and just keep trying to chop it up and stir it around. But I have to go to work. So what I do is I take and I turn it off, cover it up real nicely. I'm going to pull this up from the top. I'm going to slide it all the way back, and I'm going to kind of try to tuck this stuff under. I'm going to pull this up in here and then lay that on top of it. Do the same thing for the other side. Pull it up in there and then just lay this down. Make sure that it was off. It is off. So I'm just going to kind of wrap it up like this, and I'm going to leave it sitting. I want it to stay nice and hot while I'm gone, so that when I get back I can finish it. So that's what I do. Like I said, wrap it up really nicely, turn it off. I'm going to go ahead and unplug these while I'm gone, and I'm just going to let it sit until this afternoon, and then when I get back this afternoon I will bring you back and show you how it looks. Okay, this video is just showing my homemade shampoo, and I have it's ready. I've put some essential oils in it, and it is ready for me to jar. I'm going to put a little bit of not much, but a little bit of glycerin in it and give it a good stir. I've already cooked it. I've added my essential oils. I've thickened it some with some salt, a salt solution. The essential oils that I added were lemongrass, peppermint, rosemary, and I think I added a little bit of tangerine. But I added the first batch of essential oils when it was hot and I had to cook it some more, and so a lot of them kind of disappeared. But I did add some lemongrass to it at the end, so it's nice and ready. This will sit up for a little while. I will try to do a video of me making some of it at another time, but I just can't do it right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it in these jars, and what I do is I just label these jars shampoo, and I keep them under the counter. I hope I'm going to be able to do this without spilling it everywhere. And it will thicken up even more, and I try not to fill the jar completely up. I might have to get it all in there, but usually it makes about a gallon. Not quite a gallon. It usually makes probably, not a gallon, I'm sorry. Yeah, not quite a gallon, because I don't fill both of them up completely. So then what I do, and I'm just trying to turn this around, is I just take my little my silicone spatula, and I kind of get it out. And I love this shampoo. I'll put a little bit more in here. I don't have much left in there. But I love this shampoo. It works great. I follow it with an apple cider vinegar rinse. And that's about what I'm going to get out of it. So, put this over here and rinse that out a little later. So now it is ready. What I'll do, like I said, is I'll just put it under the cabinet, and that's on the inside. I'll put it in the cabinet, and I'll pour it. What I do is I have an old shampoo bottle, and I just fill the shampoo bottle up. And sometimes I even use a little like a little honey bottle, anything squeezable, and I fill it up like for the children so they don't have a whole big bottle. But this will last us for a long time. It smells really, really good. It has the lemongrass smell, but a hint of peppermint. I can't really smell the rosemary anymore, but works great. We love it. I know what's in this, so therefore that satisfies me. I know there's not any extra gook in it or any chemicals or anything that's not totally necessary. It's basically just oils and butters. I think those are just oils. Just oils, lye, and then the essential oils that I decided to put in. And of course the lye is all is saponified. It's gone, so you don't have to worry about having lye on your hair. So it's all the lye disappears when the soaping process is finished if it's done correctly. So it's ready, but it works nicely, and especially if I follow it with an apple cider vinegar rinse, which I have an herbal rinse that I use, and I'll try to do a video on that later. There's just so many videos to do, but anyway, this works great. It is a liquid soap, shampoo, and it's really, really good for your hair. But now your hair has an adjustment period it has to go through, so it has to adjust to the fact that you're not using all of that stuff, those chemicals and the extra additives that are in shampoos, the store-bought shampoos. Your hair has to adjust to that, so it will adjust to the fact that you're not using it. But once you get through the adjustment period, your hair will look better than it ever has. It will be healthier, stronger, shinier, and you'll be really, really satisfied with it. So love homemade shampoo, recommend it. So look for a video coming soon. Thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my page, leave a comment. I love comments. I love interacting with other soapers or people that want to get into doing this. So leave me a comment, and please watch the videos. Watch the ads. It helps me out. It helps me be able to bring the videos to you. So please watch the ads for me, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm back. It's been probably 12 hours, or probably not quite that long, maybe 11 hours since I started the liquid coconut oil soap. And it's been wrapped up. I haven't bothered it at all, and then we're going to take a look at that. I did make some shampoo, I don't know, maybe a week ago, and I poured it up. I did a video on that, so if you want to check that out, I've already posted it. So let's pull this out. I'll just kind of take these off. This was the 100% coconut oil soap, liquid soap. I'm gonna drag it out a little. It's been wrapped up the entire time. Didn't peek at it, didn't look at it, and it's actually still a little warm. Not much, but it's still a little warm. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it back on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of see it's nice and stiff. As you can see, this is a soap paste. So it's really, really stiff. It's not done, I wouldn't think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on. And you can actually cook it from beginning to the end in one session. But I wouldn't want to leave this on while I was gone. Some people might do that, I don't know. But I would want to watch it just to make sure it didn't do something funny. But you can just cook it, like if it was a day that you're home, you could just cook it for the day. I find this just works best for me to get it started, leave it, and then come back. And what I'll do is I'll heat it back up tonight and get it nice and hot again. And then I'll wrap it up again until tomorrow. And then I'll probably check it in the morning and see how it looks. Now, I might go ahead and just check this just so you can see how it looks when it is done or when it's not done. And what I do is I take, let me find it. a bowl like this, just something clear that you can see through. And I take something with some writing. This was my recipe, so I just lay that down with a bowl on top of it. I'm going to measure out, and I've got to find my stuff. I'm going to measure out a 1/2 ounce of paste. Put my bowl on there, turn it on, make sure it's on 0 with the bowl on it. If it's not, you'll need to tear it out. I'm going to put a 1/2 ounce of paste. In there. That's 0.4. And that's 0.5. And I'm going to chop it in some little pieces. And I'm going to take some hot water. Now, some people will actually boil the water. I need to fill that pot up anyway from where I poured the shampoo out. Some people will actually boil it. That's up to you. While that's getting nice and hot, I'm gonna just get this around from the edges. Make sure it's all cut up. And what you want to do while you're cooking it, and I don't think this is done, but I'm just going to check it anyway. But what you want to do while you're cooking it is you want to continue to chop and stir, and that way you're getting the soap, all of the soap, a chance to come in contact with the heat from the pot. Because like you can see, this is not stirrable. So now what you could do, if you wanted to do a cold process soap, you could just leave the lid on this and leave it sitting and just forget about it for 4 weeks, and then come back to it and then add your water if you wanted to do it that way. I always find that I can't let it sit quite that long. I don't want to let it sit. I want to hurry up and do it and see the finished product. Okay. You can see the shampoo. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can actually see the bubbles in the sink from the shampoo. I'm having trouble with my tripod. I'm gonna have to get a new one. This is the shampoo pot and filter that I use to pour up the shampoo. Now what I'm going to do, since I have a 1/2 ounce, this is not hot, but okay, I'm going to tear that out to 0, and I'm going to pour 1 ounce. Since I used a 1/2 ounce, and it's a little over, that's not a big deal. And I usually use a little whisk, and I don't know where it is at the moment. Soap room's kind of a disaster right now. I can't get to some of my stuff because the dryer tore up and we've ordered the parts and we're having to wait on them. What you want to do is give this a little time to dissolve. It doesn't have to dissolve completely. And I'm thinking it's going to need to cook a little longer. Maybe not, but it's a little milky to me. Yeah, see, it's not clear. Normally, I don't know if you can see that. It's not real milky, so it's not far from being done, I don't think. But when you put it on the paper, you should be able to see the words through the paper. Let me show you that real quick. See if I can move this without making too much. If you notice there, you can't really see the words. You should be able to see them at least, even if you can't read them completely. They shouldn't be real milky to where you can't really read any of it as it's through there. So it does need to cook some more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this back up, and I'm going to just put this back in here. I'm going to rinse the bowl out and save it for next time. I want to rinse it out because I don't want it to have any of that soap residue in it. I'm just going to lay that there because I'm going to use those in a few minutes to wrap it back up. I'm going to turn it on high. I don't really want to use that. I'm going to turn it on high, and I'm going to get it nice and hot. I will bring you back when it's heated up and just kind of show you what it looks like, and I'll let you know how long it actually took me to get it heated back up. So I will start my timer right now, and I will bring you back, and I have it on high. Oh, well, it might help to plug it in. Yes. If you notice, I keep my drop cord because all of my pots can't reach to the receptacle, and there's one receptacle over here that only plugs in 2, and then there's another one on that side. So I don't like the cords to be out like that where the children might grab the cords. So I just do a drop cord, and I always just leave it up on the table right back there. I think you can see the edge of it. Just leave it on the edge of the table, and I plug in whatever I need. And that way I don't have to keep crawling under the table and plugging things back in again over and over. So I just leave it there and plug the things in, and I don't have to worry about it. Alright, so I'll bring you back in probably 30 minutes. It'll probably take about 30 minutes for it to heat up nicely, but I'll bring you back. Okay, I'm back. It's nice and hot. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stir it up some. You can see that it's stirring a lot easier than it was before. I'm going to kind of just work it around. Ooh, it's hot. Make sure I get the one that's on the bottom up. Okay. It's been about an hour. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it back up, and I'm going to let it sit until in the morning. Like I said, you don't have to do this. It's just kind of my way of doing it. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I'll leave that here for the morning. I'm going to go ahead and put that back on it. And these are just some things I have sitting around. You can cover it with whatever you like. Going to slide it back against the wall where it'll keep the towel up around it. I'm going to pull that towel up there, tuck it in. Same way I did it before. Make sure I turned it off. I'm always scared that I'm going to leave it on. Okay. And I'm going to stack some more things on top of it. Just as much as you can get. These are just ones that I had in here. Alright, there we go. And I will bring you back in the morning. Okay, good morning. It's been overnight since I've had the soap paste, the liquid soap in the crock pot just sitting. I will tell you that after I turned the video off, I did decide to just reach underneath and turn the pot on low. And I left it on low for about 30 minutes so that I knew that it got really hot, and then I turned it off. And I left it wrapped even while it was on low, and then I turned it off, and then I just left it alone until this morning. So I'm going to unwrap it. It's still really warm. Even the little towels are warm. Crock pot, it's not hot, but it's warm. The top is really warm. And I'm liking the way it's looking. If I'm going to zoom you in so that you can kind of see. Let's see if I can get this tripod. It has more of a translucent look about it. It's the white look is gone. So I don't know if you can really see. It looks kind of like Vaseline. And that's exactly what I want to see. Now I want to dig down though, because sometimes the top will have that and the bottom won't. But I am seeing the Vaseline look even at the bottom of it. So more so at the top, because you can see really nice and shiny. But so I'm thinking it's ready. I don't think I'm going to need to cook it. And if you've noticed that I haven't really done a whole lot of cooking this soap, I turn it on, let it get really, really hot, and then wrap it up to keep the heat in so that it's continuing to cook for a long time versus just leaving the crock pot sitting there and it gets colder quicker. You wrap it up, it's like a thermal blanket. It keeps it nice and warm, and it will push itself through the saponification process and more quickly without me having to sit there and run the crock pot constantly, which you can do, but I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. Okay, I went ahead and let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I went ahead and measured out an ounce of water, and I did put it in the microwave and got it nice and hot so that I could try to get the soap melted quicker. I'm going to put in half of an ounce, and the soap is warm, and that's 0.4 right there. So actually it went down. I don't know if yeah, it's steady. Get that off of it. 0.4. 0.5. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of stir it around, try to get it chopped up some in the paste. And this doesn't have to melt completely, and I'm making a mess. This doesn't have to melt completely. I just want it to dissolve some of it to make sure that there's not a milky look to it, because if it has a milky look, then I know that my soap paste is not done. Okay, you want it to, it can be a little cloudy, but you don't want it to have a milky white look to it. And this is not really well, I don't want to say it's not really going to matter because it's cleaner, but because, you know, unless you're wearing gloves, you might get it on your hands, and I typically don't wear gloves, and I know maybe even I should be wearing gloves now, but I'm like 99% positive it's done, which is that 1%, but I'm not seeing any milkiness at all. Okay. You will get the bubbles because, again, this is coconut oil soap. Very, very cleansing, very sudsy, foams a lot, which is what you want in a cleaner. Or laundry detergent. This makes a great laundry detergent as well. I don't need any laundry detergent now, but I can use this for both. And like I said, it does make a runny liquid soap. Coconut oil soap does not thicken up. Or if somebody has figured out a way, I don't know anything about it, and from everything I've read, coconut oil soap just does not thicken up. It just makes a runny soap. So that works perfect for cleaners for the bathroom. And it also works fine for the washing machine because you don't, you know, it doesn't really matter if it's thick or not. And even with shampoos and things, what was I going to get my alcohol. I'll bring this over here to you. I'm going to get rid of the bubbles with some alcohol. It's not going to get rid of all of them, but it will cut them down. Okay. Now what I want you to, I hope you can see it, is that you can see my hand really nicely underneath. I'm going to put the paper over here and bring it where you can see it now. I want you to be able to see the difference from when I tested it before. I'm going to dry that off real good. When I tested it before, and you have to kind of, and I didn't even dissolve all the soap. So there are some clumps on this side, but I'm dragging everything out of the way. And I want you to be able to see that even though it's not perfectly clear, you can see the print underneath. So let's bring you down. Let me see if I can do this. See how you can see, and my shadows over it too. I'm trying not to get the shadow of the tripod. I won't say iPod, iPad. There you go. Let's see. There you go. See how you can see the words now underneath, where before you couldn't even see the letters. That lets me know that it's clear. I can read through it. It's fine. So I know that the soap is now ready. So what I can do is two things. I can put water in this pot and go ahead and dilute all of it at one time. Or I can take out certain amounts of it and only dilute part of it. So that's kind of up to me how I want to do that. My recipe that I printed off of Summer Bee Meadow says that I'm going to need 54 ounces of water. 54 ounces of water to go in this. And I'm not even sure if that will fit in that pot. So I think what I might do, no, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Okay. And I'll just pour it up. I have some old vinegar gallon jugs. I'll just pour it into those vinegar gallon jugs and then I'll label it. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put that out. I'm going to go ahead and put my jug on there, tear it out. Okay. I didn't tear it. It's got 4 on it, 4 ounces, so I definitely don't want that. I want to make sure that that's gone so that I'm only measuring the water that I'm putting in. So now it reads 0, even with the picture on it. I'm going to measure, like I said, it needs 54 ounces of water at the end. And that's on the safe side. Excuse me. I'm gonna need all that and more. The rest of the soap calculator gives you, for liquid soap, it gives you several options. It gives you percentages that you can use for the water. So if you want a thicker soap, you use a lesser percentage. And if you want a thinner soap, you go up and you use the higher percentage for the water. And it lists, at like 30%. And I can't remember, I want to say this was 30% water. I chose the lowest one. And the reason I chose the lowest one is because with the coconut oil soap, I know that it is thin anyway. So I didn't want to add more water than necessary. Now when I add this water and I dilute it, I may find out that all that soap paste won't dissolve in the water. And if it won't, I may have to add some more water. And that's okay. But you want to start off with the smallest amount, at least until you get the feel for a recipe. And then once you get the feel for it, then you can take notes and write it down, and then you'll kind of know what you want, what you need to do. Now the bad thing that I do is I don't take the notes. And then next time I get ready to make it, I don't remember. But I'm trying to get better about that. I'm trying to take notes, write down what I added, when I added it, what went wrong, what I should have done differently. If I made a mistake, I do that kind of stuff. So, let's see. I have 3 pounds, which is 48, 49 with 1, 49, 50. 51, 52, 53, 54. Perfect. Okay, so 3 pounds and 6 ounces. 3 pounds is 30, 48, 49, 54. Perfect. 3 pounds and 6 ounces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that down. Now if I make this exact recipe again, I don't have to sit there and figure that out. Okay? I already have it done. Alright, so now I have this ready. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the crock pot back on high. And you can do low, you can do high, it's kind of up to you. And I'm going to pour out just a tad of this water, because I am going to add this back in. Okay. Good. I want to get this soap paste back out. This just had some water in it. And like I said, the water doesn't have to be an exact measurement. I mean, you want to kind of go by the guidelines, but if I added a couple ounces extra or a couple ounces less, it's not going to matter. The only thing it's going to do is the extra ounces may cause it to be a little runnier. And if you don't have quite as much, you may have globs of paste like this just floating in the water that won't dissolve until you add some more water. So, alright, crock pot's on high. I'm going to go ahead and just pour this on top. And I'm hoping this pot's going to be enough. Okay, now what I can already tell is that if I have to add any more water, this pot's not going to be big enough. So, that's fine. I'm going to cut through it a little, and I probably should have done some of this before. Now it's going to get a harder feel to it almost immediately when you put the water in, because the soap paste is reacting. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and make some of this at another time, and I'm going to just put some of the paste up. I've never done that before because I'm always wanting to dilute it immediately, all of it. But some people put it in the refrigerator in bags, Ziploc bags, and just leave it in there until they need some more, and then they take out whatever they need. If they only want 16 ounces of paste, or they just take out what they need, and and make it. I don't, and that's fine. And you're going to find with soaping that there are things that some people do that they swear by, that other people just say, nah, no, I'm not doing that. So it's up to you. It's a craft, and as an artisan, you have to figure out what works for you. And some people will be adamant about what they do, but then you'll have people on the opposite side of the fence. So you just kind of have to decide what works for you. And I don't get into big arguments or debates with people. This is just the way I do it. It's not the right way, but it's not the only way, but it's what works for me, and this is just what I do. So if you choose to do something different, that's great. If it works for you, and it probably would work for me, this is just the way I choose to do it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to get that back down in there, off of this cake knife. Alright, now I'm going to let it heat back up, and when it heats up, it's going to immediately begin to melt. Now you can let it heat back up and wrap it back up the way I did and just leave it. I may do that, and I may not. I'm home today, so we'll see. But I will bring you back after I feel like it's done something, and I'll let you know how long it's been. See you in a little bit. Okay, it's been probably an hour and a half. So I'm going to see how it's looking. Now I know it's not, wow, it is nice and thin. Still have some soap clumps stuck to the bottom, so what you're going to need to do is just kind of break them loose. Try to chop them a little bit if they're like big chunks. Because you want them kind of floating around. You don't want them just stuck, because if they're floating, they're going to dissolve quicker. Like I said, just kind of break them apart where they're not big chunks. Okay, let me go to the bottom and make sure, yeah, there's still soap on the bottom. Just going to break it loose and let it float. Well, yeah, there's more. I was beginning to think, wow, it dissolved really quickly, but it's in there. I do have the crock pot on low, and I haven't bothered it at all. Just kind of let it do its thing. So just break it up. And you can just put the water in there in a bucket or whatever if you want to, in the paste, and just cover it and let it sit in the pantry for a couple weeks or something, or a week or a couple days, and just keep kind of checking on it. You don't have to use a crock pot to melt it. It's just quicker, and if you're like me, you wanna see it immediately. Okay, so I think that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna kind of get this off the edge, and you can see I still have a lot left in there to dissolve. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to have to add more water in order to get it all to dissolve, and since I'm running out of space in the crock pot, what I would do is I could just dip out the chunks that won't melt and put them in something else with some more water and let them melt. Okay, so like I said, that was about an hour and a half. It's done a really good job of melting most of it, but we have a ways to go, so I'm going to leave it on low, and I will bring you back probably in another hour and a half. Okay, I'm back. It dissolved nicely. I've taken it out of the crock pot and let it cool down to where now I can actually touch the pot if I want to. I left the lid off and let it kind of, as it cooled down, it created a little skin on top of it. And what I did is I just dipped it off and I put it in this bowl because I'm kind of tired of waiting on it. And I'm just going to put some water over this and let it finish dissolving. But in the meantime, I wanted to go ahead and finish this video up and finish up the soap. So what I did is I'm just stirring it around, and I went ahead and got my jug ready. You can put this in anything that you want to. You can put it in a old laundry detergent container. You can put it in a jar. You can put it basically in whatever. It doesn't matter. The only thing that I usually do with liquid soaps is that I try not to put them in narrow mouth bottles, because sometimes liquid soap will thicken as it ages a little, and if it gets a skim on the top that you need to kind of get off, it's hard to get that off if it's in a container with a really narrow top. But coconut oil soap is really thin, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm going to put it in this old vinegar container. I wrote coconut oil LS, which is liquid soap, and the date, so that I would just know if I go back and look at my notes, because maybe something went wrong with this one, or maybe I really liked it. Any recipe, whether it's shampoo or bar soap or whatever, I can go back and look at it and know when I made it, especially liquid soap. So what I did is, because it has a narrow mouth, I'm using this on top, but I want something bigger to pour in, so I'm going to try this. I just kind of set it there like that, and I'm going to try to pour it in it without making a mess. So I found that if I pour on this end, it will follow this. First, if I pour over here, it will go in a wide area. So we're going to try this. This is still a little hot. I mean, I can touch it. It's really hot, but it's fine. And I'm just going to slowly pour it in. I don't want to go faster than my filter. Faster than my funnel will allow me to. And it's pouring in nicely. And this is probably not, it's going to probably make about 3/4 of a gallon. Now you can't really see me pouring it, but what I'm going to do is get my silicone spatula. I'm going to just kind of get it off of there. It's not going to get all of it, but just going to kind of rub it in there like that. Okay, we're finished. And that's rocking. And I'm through with that. So what I ended up with is probably 3/4, I would say, maybe not quite 3/4, but over half of a gallon of coconut oil LS liquid soap. What I wanted to show you is how nice it will suds up. Let's see if you can get it off my hand. Coconut oil liquid soap can be drying, especially if you're not super fat, which I did not, because I don't want any super fat in it for cleaning and laundry. I was going to try to show you, if I can, get some warm water. I'll show you how nice it will suds up just by the pot. I'll leave that there, and what I'll do is I'll wash these other dishes in there. But as you can see, it suds up really nicely. Hope you can really see that. It does work fine with the washing machine, but you know, with coconut oil soap, you don't want to go you don't want to use a lot of it because you don't want the suds in your washing machine to be really sudsy. You don't want it to mess up the washing machine. But I used it in my HE washing machine, never had a problem. I don't use as much as I do of the other laundry detergents that I make. So you know, just kind of try it out, see how it works for you. But it works great at a cleanser. So what I'll do is I'll just take a bottle like this, not the alcohol, but I'll take a bottle like this, maybe fill it half, about maybe that far up with the coconut oil liquid soap. Actually, I'll fill it with water first to cut down the sudsing. Water, and then the liquid soap, and then shake it up a little and use it as a spray cleaner. I'll probably go more like 3/4 water, 1/4 coconut oil liquid soap, and just kind of see how that works, because I don't want a lot. You know, some things you just don't want it to suds up everywhere when you're cleaning, but you want it to clean. So you just have to kind of play with that ratio and see what works for you. But this does work great for cleaning sinks, toilets, commodes, tubs. I don't recommend using it on your floors, because if you use too much, if you use any, it would be just a tad, not much at all. But it does work great at cleaning. You can use it in the bottle to spray it on clothes. If you have a spot and rub it in with a brush, it works great. I really like that instead of, I made these coconut oil bar soaps, and there's a piece of one there, and I took the pieces and I put them down in here, and when I get ready to do a spot, I just take my little brush and wet it, my toothbrush, and put it on there and just scrub it. But sometimes if the spot's big, it takes a little while to get enough off of this with a toothbrush onto something else. And sometimes I'll fill it up with water and then just pour it on the top. But this is going to work out great with just spraying it on like a spray and wash, so that I don't have to worry about messing with the toothbrush and that. And you can see I have several up here that I was using for that. And I would just put them in there with my brush. I also did use this brush, but that doesn't work too well at times. And so I just started using this one, and I would just do this and then scrub it on. That works great for little spots, but not so much for spots that are bigger. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my page. I have decided not to move my videos over to another page in YouTube channel. Instead, I have just renamed my current YouTube channel Heavenly Soaps and Such. So I'm going to be staying put right where I'm at. Please watch my videos. It helps me out. Thanks for watching, and please leave a comment. I love to interact with your questions. Thanks so much. See you later.